Sure.
Is that on or not?
Recording.
It is recording? Okay. So this is the Finance Committee meeting. It is 5 o'clock. It is July the 28th. I will apologize to Cheryl for making this very difficult because she has to listen to the recording instead of viewing a Zoom meeting, right?
So that's we're all talking through masks.
That's right, especially since we're talking through this. So, members present are Bev Green, Kelly Reese, myself, Jim Sullivan. Also present is Cindy Billings, the mayor, Scott Barney, the fiscal officer, and Councilman Miller over here. Just recognize you in your stogie mask. Items on the agenda are to talk about the roof, the electric poles in the downtown area, the road, Lake Avenue, income tax, and budget items. And as always, I always give Scott the opportunity to present any kind of finance information or updates that he may have. Scott?
I don't have anything of handout-wise, or we've all talked about it.
Yeah.
We can go back and review over anything. I do have an update on the initiative petition that was submitted to the village on Friday. So know that we'll do our part, and Board of Election will do theirs. Most likely will be on the ballot this fall. So, I guess I throw to you. What are you gonna do?
Do you mind if I
can't.
close this door?
I'm fine, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What, I got department heads starting to do their budget.
Yep.
And I gotta know how to do a budget. So, whatever response council may have to this hasn't been discussed.
Right.
I don't know how to necessarily plan on doing something, some of it's just no brainer. I know we gotta keep the lights on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
With
So I'm gonna need some guidance with that. So I want you to be aware that that came in and that doesn't mean to be discussed.
So the question I have to that is with the credit taken away, how much more income do we get, income tax wise?
Don't hold me to it. I think the projection was around 360,000.
Okay. So I think budget-wise, we look at it two-faced. We look at it from the side of the initiative does not go through and we retain this 360. And then the other side is to look at it with the 360 removed. So I think that's the, I look at the budget as in three pieces. Operational, that means salaries and whatever it takes to keep the lights on. Those are pretty much a given, so you can't take away from those. We need to maintain our services. The second thing I look at is infrastructure replacements. New vehicles, and I'm talking minor equipment, not major equipment. Vehicles is an operation, to me is operational, it's an object that lasts under 5 years. So infrastructure, I would also include roads as part of infrastructure, the repaving projects and things like that. And then lastly in the budget items is those items that I think of those as investment type items or those items that are longer lasting with the police building. We look at those three pieces of it. We have to keep the lights on. To me, we have to maintain the infrastructure. And then what's left over goes towards, those, other items. So if we look at it that way, I think it gives us a little bit of direction.
And then, when you get to street lighting, before you start a big conversation, I'll give you some updates on what I'm for, so.
Any other conversations about the budget in general, the initiative in general? None? I will go ahead and let you talk about the light poles.
So, the mayor and I took a walk over here to look and see what they had done as far as capping the light pole that was over there. They didn't cap it,
They
they
took it
taped
away.
around the wires and put a red, orange cone over the top of it. They also did the other one just north of it.
We're now missing two light poles.
They be in Ohio Edison?
Yes. So I called them today, I called our rep, well, I actually called the servicing part of it.
Okay.
I had a number for that job. They were gonna put another light up. That's not what I requested, I said, cap it.
Right.
But they were gonna install new lights. So I got a hold of our representative, because they have two styles of lights, I guess. When we've had access before and replaced them, they just come out.
Right.
I got a hold of our rep. So they have a couple different programs, and one is where, right now with the street lights, we get a bill for almost 30 street lights. I think those are the decorative ones. And it's based on some rate. And so that's what we pay for each light. It doesn't necessarily mean we own them or don't own them. Right now, I know when we've had them hit in developments, I think we even had one hit on East Maple,
Right.
sometime in the last 10 years.
Just about 3 years ago.
We've had several, we've had quite a few of them hit, or several.
Yeah, I know we paid for them to
Yeah.
come out, take care of it, and we paid the post in
Right.
anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000, so. He's looking to see what kind of program those lights are under. As far as capping them all off, he's gonna see what they would do, give me some rates, or the rates for replacing whatever ones we deem need to be replaced. But he needed to get more information first,
Right.
so to sit here and, you requested what it cost is to cap it. We have no cost right now until he figures out what program exactly those lights are under with Ohio Edison and the response to it.
Okay.
So this cost that we had previously, that you had given us, of the cost of the pole and light fixtures, you had at 1,000, the high end, $1,671 is not,
That was through a vendor, not.
We had gotten prices on our own, it had nothing to do with Ohio Edison.
Yeah.
And if we don't actually own those light poles, we can't really do that. So that's the first thing we have to figure out, which he's doing first go.
Okay, so you have a timeline? Nothing.
I'm subject to Ohio Edison
Yes.
getting back to me.
Okay.
And he did provide me some of that information I provided to you. This guy, he's our government rep for us. So I would imagine that I should hear before the next council meeting,
Okay.
hopefully,
Um,
what our options would be.
Yeah. If, of course, if you get the information, just please, email it out to everybody. And if need be, we have a discussion inside the council.
So it might come down to, do we want to take them all out? Do we want to replace certain ones? What do we want to do about those two
Right.
at the moment?
So there is a question about ownership too?
That's what he told us about.
Okay.
Whether we completely own the pole or are we in a program? That's what he's saying.
Okay.
I mean, if we completely own the poles, we might have had to go buy our own poles before.
Right.
Put them in where we're in the program and they just bring one of their poles out and stick them in.
Right. Okay.
As far as cap, one of the problems I looked at, the mayor and I looked at, you got all the bulbs coming up through the sidewalk.
You should see how
You
rough
can't
it
just-
was.
you can't just-
It was
right.
rough.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was
You'd be
thinking.
tripping all over them unless
Yeah.
they put something a little bit higher,
Right.
or a bench over them or something, so. We'll see what he says.
Okay. Next item is the roof. We received 3 quotes.
I think there were 4 total though, 3 different companies, 4
Yeah,
quotes.
yeah, there was 2 on it.
So, the,
JT Construction had 2.
Did you find my mistake? I sent you guys another quote out yesterday, was it?
oh, I didn't see that one.
For Ellis or?
Yeah,
Oh,
because for
okay.
some reason, when I sent the original quotes, it said 2 of the one quote,
That's
and
what I-
didn't send Ellis's.
Okay.
So we have Hanson, JT Construction and Ellis.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so the first question I have is the quote for the metal roof. The question I have, is that a shingled
No,
style?
No.
That's just a straight metal roof,
yeah, just like you see anywhere.
just like the pantry has? Okay, so,
Not that color although.
yeah. So the first problem I have with that is that, one, we're in the historical district, and this building, the historical district tries to keep the buildings inside their own characteristics. So the idea there is that this is a Williamsburg-style building, and the roof is what they consider the steep pitch and a shingled roof as far as characteristics. So unless we go to request a quote for the shingled style metal roof,
You have that from that same gentleman.
but it's not
That's
shingled
shingle.
style.
That's shingles.
That's shingles.
That's
not
just a
metal.
regular
Oh,
shingle.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just regular shingles. It's-
You're talking shingles metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because shingled, as long as it's a shingled style, or it appears to be a shingled style, I think it would conform to the characteristic. If it doesn't conform to the characteristic, then we have to stick to the standard asphalt shingles. The gentleman gave a quote of $12,800 for the shingle.
Yeah, that's the regular shingles.
Okay.
Is that quote still good?
He just gave it to us.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's dated,
Yeah, all the quotes are good. We even had some of them changed.
okay, because that was dated in January, that's why I'm asking,
Okay.
just making
Yeah,
sure.
we've talked to him since
You
then.
have Ellis's.
I've got Ellis's quote too.
She does, because that's when I discovered that
Okay.
I didn't give it to you.
What is his quote?
18,200.
Okay, so he's out.
Yeah.
So, and the other one was out, it was over.
It was a
19.
19.8.
So,
Well, Joe's shingles were 30 year, correct?
Correct,
What were Ellis's?
30.
30, okay.
yeah.
I could
Yeah,
remember
you're-
what it was.
Hanson was 50.
Yeah, we're comparing, pretty much, when you're comparing Ellis's and JT's, they're
You said the
apples
other
to
ones
apples.
were 50 years?
Hanson has 50-year warranty on material and labor for the 1980.
For the 19. What is that per year?
$397.50.
Versus, what is it, 374?
I'll take the 12.8,
Yeah, 12.8 would be
426.
426.
And that's only for materials, not labor. Now, the other question I had, because Hanson, I couldn't tell what type of shingles he was putting down.
Uh-huh.
So JT Construction was using
Certainty,
certain
yeah.
land run
And
shingles.
those are good shingles.
I
And
might have some
then-
information about that.
Alistair was using dimensional,
Okay.
but
Let me go.
I couldn't see on Hanson's what type of shingles he was putting.
But it, but on Hanson's as well, it might not be that high if he doesn't have, if, my understanding is if he doesn't need to do some of these things.
Those are additional to that price if he has to do those things.
Oh, okay,
But the other thing is he's got 2 squares, he's got two numbers, a 57 and a 46, is that right?
For two-
Everybody else had 56 as a square, they were using their numbers for.
Yeah.
Hanson has 57 and 46 as his number, so I don't know what,
Well, his
The
also says
46s?
two-story.
correct. That's why I didn't understand. If that makes any sense. Oh, Hanson's got more information. It says number of squares 57, number of squares two-story 46.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's,
Wood they have to-
wood is $60 per sheet if it's needed for the underlayment. And 1x10s are $8 per linear foot if needed. Oh, there we go. They look dimensional. These are timber line. I'm assuming these are dimensional ones.
That's the Hanson, that came with the Hanson.
No, the Hanson's more expensive,
That was the most.
Yeah, that was the
expensive,
most
yeah.
expensive
but it's
shingle
also
one.
the 50.
But it also is the 50-year
Yeah,
warranty
timber
with
lines.
labor.
What's that?
Jeff, the timber lines are GAF, aren't
Yes.
Are they
I'm
GAF?
so far removed from shingles.
What?
they?
So
Is Timberline GAF?
Yes.
Okay.
What's GAF?
It's just a brand of shingle, that's a good shingle.
Is this what you get at like Home Depot and Lowe's?
Oh, no, Jeff, Home Depot and Lowe's, I think carry Owens.
Oh, the dimensions.
So what's the real differences between the 50-year and the 30-year? What's included with the 30-year and what's not?
The 30-year just says it was shingles.
Okay? No underlayment or anything?
No, it does have the underlayment.
Oh, it's
Right,
separate
but-
or is it included?
A guarantee is.
Not in the warranty, yeah.
Not in the warranty.
Got it, yeah.
Okay.
That's all code, you know, underlayment and all that,
Yeah.
in the valleys,
You put
ice
that
storm,
on the
ice
trip
storm
edges.
valleys and the eaves and all that. JT is the one that put the roof on it, on the salt shed and on the police garage down there. They put metal on the police garage and then they put regular shingles on the salt shed last year.
But both of them are just the, they call lifetime warranty on the shingles, which is 30 years.
Right.
Ellis and Miss JT.
And it is just the shingles, I'm reading a little more on this one, and it's just. the shingles.
But on Hanson, it says a 50-year warranty, material and labors are not prorated, transferable one time only.
This one's not transferable either.
What's that one?
The JT one.
I don't
This
think
one is
so, because
transferable
they
one
were-
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Not,
In case we decide to sell.
right, could be a new house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We have another church for sale down there, you never
We keep having
know.
meetings on Zoom,
We won't need a
we
building.
don't need them.
One's on Medina and one's local,
Which one's local? and how
JT.
local? Is he in Hartville, in Lake?
He's on
Guy
Guy
Babbitt.
Babbitt.
Guy Babbitt.
Okay.
But I thought somebody said that the guy that.
Okay,
owns
the lady
tire
that, the
company
lady that
lives
works
in-
for
Hanson,
Hanson lives on Sunnyside.
Oh.
She's the one that came and gave us the quote.
So,
Yeah.
So if you divide it out, and let's say 57 squares is
Yep.
the number. JT with Certainty landmark shingles is 224 square. Aliser is 319 a square, and Hanson is 348 a square. But there's a 20-year difference on warranty between those two
Right.
squares.
So
So
if
if
you
you're going
take,
30, yeah,
yeah,
there's a difference between 30 and 50.
so if you take the total of 57 squares by each of those, and then
Yeah.
divide by the warranty years, what's it come up
Wait, say that
It's
again.
like being at work, Kelly.
to? I know.
I'm doing my analytical work.
That's not true, because she's in person right now.
Say what am I doing now?
So, take the 224, multiply it by 57 squares,
Which hopefully gives me the number that they gave me,
Yep.
18.2.
so that gives
It's
you,
12,768. That's 12,768.
that's the 12.7,
It's really 12.8, but you have to write it out. I just cut off the ends.
yeah, that's fine.
That's why I'm not an accountant. I get rid of all that extra stuff.
The audits wouldn't be good for you, would they?
We all have our strengths.
What was the
that's okay.
57 for Alice?
319. And 348 for Hanson. So 19,875, what do you say that was? Divided by 50 is 397 a year. 8 divided by 30 is, whoa,
420.
426. 426 a year. And 606 for Alice a year.
So what we're really coming down to is if,
50 or 30.
yeah, the 50 or 30. The 50 is,
$29 difference between the 50 and the 30.
right,
Both are gonna outlive all of us.
Over the years,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
so. 50 or 30.
I-
And again, the warranties are about the same, I mean, limited lifetime or, lifetime,
Yeah.
one transfer,
Yeah.
one. Both of them have add-on costs for underlayment.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause if we have a leak, there's gonna be some damage.
Yeah.
At least in that spot, yeah.
Is there a ridge vent out there?
It is.
I personally say just go with JT. That would be my, and with the 30 years.
Let me look at the JT versus Hanson.
Because you're gonna save like maybe $6,000.
Yeah, but over the lifetime.
Right, I'm just saying initially you're gonna save.
So, so if you look at Hanson's, he's gonna replace underlayment with synthetic underlayment, remove, replace drip edge, remove and replace ridge cap, remove ridge vent and replace with high efficiency ridge vent, replace flash chimney if needed, new step flashing where needed, remove and replace pipe jack, don't know what that is.
Those are boots around your
Huh?
pipes. Those are the boots that go around your pipes, which
Okay.
all of them will do that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
New ice and water shield per code, magnet cleanup, caulking where needed. And then on the JT one, and maybe it's just clarification, he's got remove and dispose of shingles, install ice guard at eaves and in valleys with synthetic underlayment, and install shingles. That's what his quote has on it.
Okay.
So I would probably get some clarifying questions and see what on this list they're not gonna do.
There's no chimney up there, so.
Right,
there's
so
no
some of that
question.
stuff's not gonna apply
Right,
to us.
So a lot,
Correct.
some of that doesn't qualify. We do have lights up there that they're gonna have to go around and reseal and all that kind of stuff, so.
I mean, I would assume some of that's part of the job, they just don't list it out in detail.
And that's what I guess we need the clarification.
That's would be my guess, between a small company and probably a more,
So that might just be their blanket sheet, just to say this is all the stuff,
And that's what kind of Nate and I were
maybe
thinking.
as needed
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
yeah,
That way everything's covered, whether it applies to you or not.
yeah.
I can call him or email him and get a little more detail.
Do you have as it stands right now, do you have a preference which way to go?
If, to me, the shingles, which you said, the landmark shingles are good shingles, right? If the shingles are good and the workmanship is good, I would personally go with the 30 for right now. save the money up front.
And I'm fine with that, so
Joe does nice work.
we can
Huh?
go,
Joe does nice work.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he's local. I mean,
Well, I'll get a hold of him and make sure that what's covered on that other one is, for the most part, covered on this one too.
Yeah,
And if not, what it's gonna cost us.
right, that
I'll
ups
get
the
back
price,
to
because we don't
this.
want any surprises.
No,
And-
no,
And also find out when you can start.
I thought about that too, because some people are so busy this year.
Right.
And then what color are you picking? No, I'm just kidding.
match what.
Red,
There
red.
you go. Okay. So as it stands right now, we will go with the 12/8 plus a little,
Yeah,
or bake in a little bit of extra cost. Unless something startling comes up, we're gonna ask questions.
Or he can't do it for a year.
Or, yeah, or if you can't do it for you.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know, I'm sure tomorrow, if not Thursday,
And
the
we can,
latest.
we can propose that at the next council.
Okay.
And then, Scott, I take it that you'll have to make an adjustment, an appropriation adjustment.
Yeah,
I thought you already did.
Yeah, I thought.
I
we
have
had
it, I have 16,000
Okay.
there, so as long as we're not over, there's no rush.
Okay. Is that all for the roof?
I think so.
Okay, next is the road. When Sam gave us information about the road, he gave us a spreadsheet that showed over $400,000 for reconstruction of the road, or for paving of the road, of Lake Avenue. We received the numbers in. There were somebody help me out, 236, 230,
I was gonna say close to 240.
yeah, we'll just call it 240. And if we just take it as a rough guess, and, starting with 400,000, and we're getting it for 240, that's 40% discount. Our policy in the past has been, take the discounts when we can get them. One of the things I wanted to point out was that when we went through the budget last year, that we held off the transfer from the general funds into the streets with the idea of using that to help out with the paving program. We just also held off on the purchase of a new truck until the spring, which is already passed. We still have to do that evaluation. Nate? Okay. So we still need to evaluate that truck for the purchase for the year. But the idea was is that we had set aside money from the budget from last year in anticipation of some sort of paving program. I guess I should have had you talk about the budget a little bit, about the income.
And the gas.
Yeah, about the income for the year, how it's been going, before we actually talk about the roads. In the last meeting, one of the last meetings, the meeting from June, you said we were down 24,000 in income that you did not expect. It was,
That was our withholdings, we're down
yeah,
$24,000 for that time frame. And
Due to-
that was through May.
yeah.
And that was, I don't foresee that, I mean, we wouldn't recapture that.
Okay, and that's income unrecovered.
Right.
Is that number gone up at all?
I won't know until, I'll look at it here in the latter part of August, because our June quarterlies don't come in until end of July.
Okay.
And once we gather the information, I'll be able to do a better projection at that time.
Yeah. The other thing you had from them was an additional $145,000 coming in for income tax by mid-July. Has that been on track? That's from the credit elimination from last year.
From the income tax clerk going through all the returns that were related to the credit.
Yep.
We had $82,000 due, we collected the $59,000. Doing my estimate for that time frame, August through December, was $145,000.
Okay.
So we were at, that would be, so we were 50%, 7% of what I was estimating at that time through collections.
Okay, good. And that appears to be on track.
Yeah, I don't think there's a significant drop there.
Okay. That's what I'm looking for is the idea that there's no big gotchas anywhere as far as the income tax is concerned.
Hey Scott, do you know with the work from home situation that's going on in corporate America? I know they froze where you work from home based upon what it was at the time of.
Where your office was located.
It will take a long time to be settled, and there'll be lawsuits and all
Oh,
kinds of
yeah.
things going on.
We're losing a lot of money from that.
I asked the same
This is a
question.
place where we could take advantage of no
Correct.
matter what.
I would
Yeah.
rather my money cipher in here, especially if we're working from
Sure.
home, so.
Sure.
Yeah,
the argument-
at your place and,
Westfield's
Here.
fine.
yeah.
They might hurt for a while,
You know,
but they'll
you
be
got,
fine.
Westfield, I know another village that actually brings about $18 million
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it,
in income tax.
guarantee
You
it.
know, and you got one business where they could, you know, a lot of these insurance places, they don't have people coming in anymore. And if you change that, and you lost all that money, I mean, obviously some of it's net profit. You know, your larger cities, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Akron,
They're gonna fight it, yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of fights, you know, over that, so I don't see it.
Because I see a way.
The question is, can you, I mean, really what they've done is circumvent the law.
Well, I feel like right now is like in a forgiveness period, but I have a feeling the outcome is gonna be many more people will be working from home.
They're
because
realizing they can
can.
do it, yeah.
Yeah.
They can, we proved it out.
The lawsuit's gonna be over, you've circumvented the law, this is what the law says, you just can't come in one day and say, well, we're gonna forgive this.
Because like
Yeah.
today, when we work from
Period.
home, we have to fill out paperwork and say, 2 days a week I work from home, so my taxes go there 2 days a week. 3 days a week it goes to Westwood Center. We do that today, but with everybody now being dispersed,
Being at home.
Yeah.
I was just curious, because like I said, I think the work organization's gonna change long term.
Oh, definitely.
And the argument from our point of view is that our services, we're, you know, our police and street and everything are maintained by the services of the residents, and if we have more residents during the day,
We're having to do more,
we're having to do more,
definitely.
so.
And they're on the streets more, they're using,
Wait a
you
minute,
know.
what was that, how'd you put that?
Well, the amount of services based upon the residents that are in the, so there's more driving around town during the day now than there was before, because people were gone. I mean, Hartville was almost, there was
Ghost town?
not, well, it wasn't a ghost town, I mean, you know, I drive
Yeah.
around during the day and I wouldn't, sometimes I wouldn't even see a car on Maple
8 to
Road.
4, it was Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas,
It's not that way anymore.
it's not that
I can
way.
tell you.
So the amount of services, I mean, I'm just saying, our police services,
The wear and tear on the streets.
you know,
I feel like
You
it
put up
should-
with your husband and how much time the police are
Yeah.
probably.
I just feel like it should be at least split. If
So
you
you're
work
saying
from
that-
home, split it. That'd be a nice way
Yeah.
to even it out.
Sure.
So you're saying the residents are using the streets more?
well, I'm saying the residents are using more
The
services.
services, yeah.
And,
All right. I just want you to say that,
Yep,
clarify,
yeah,
so everybody understands that.
Correct.
That, okay, if you don't pay anything,
Right.
yeah,
because
yeah,
you work
exactly,
elsewhere, then
exactly,
you're using it, you know?
right.
So that's a good.
And if you're working from home,
Point to
but you're
highlight.
working, yeah, if you're working from home, but your business is, you know, your office is actually located in another city, we're still not getting your taxes,
Mhm.
so,
Absolutely not.
yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
that-
that's gonna be quite a while for that.
Because I don't see this being a part-time thing. It's gonna go away.
Jim just found out he's till mid-January, he's at home.
Well, I guarantee it'll be 2021 at some point.
Yeah.
I
And
just-
I know our employees will fight going back to work. They won't want to go back to work.
Really?
I know, and this is just a tidbit, and this is really off track. I know people that work in New York City that are actually living in Ohio right now,
mhm.
still working for companies in New
Yep.
York City.
And they don't wanna go back,
No,
not with this mess.
so. Okay, so with the idea, the concept or the basis that the income tax is still coming in, there's no spikes or loss of income that's completely out of the norm. Let's go back to the roads itself. So my suggestion is that we go ahead and see if we can't get Lake Avenue paved and get that taken care of.
What's the downside if we don't get Lake Avenue paved?
Then it's gonna cost us $400,000 later.
And when was it slotted to be on the list to begin with?
Honestly, nothing's slotted.
Yeah, we have nothing.
You don't have
You've got
We
two
don't have a
businesses
program.
down there too,
Yeah.
that benefit from the use.
We've got a school that's got a terrible road all the way around it.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I guess that's my
If we
point, and I didn't think about this until somebody pointed it out to me. Lake is probably the worst road in the village, and out of the bad roads, it's probably the least traveled road in the village. I'm not one for perception of what people see, but I know some people are, and that's not gonna look good to our residents that we're paving probably the least traveled bad road in the village when we have other bad roads that are much more traveled and we're not doing. You gotta market it
But,
really well.
but the other thing is, if they see Lake Township doing it and us not partnering with Lake Township to get it done, when we can save money, that's not gonna look good either.
Well,
I don't think
I don't
they're
think
gonna care.
people
If
look
this
at that.
stays the way it is and that gets fixed, they're gonna riot.
Yeah,
I just think you gotta market it right, that's all I'm saying.
What'd you say the price was? We're talking 240,000?
240.
We'll say 240.
I mean, at this point, with what we just heard, what we talked about at council, I can't see, I'll be honest, I get there's two businesses down there, but I cannot see spending $240,000 to fix a road that's not traveled as much as the school, some of the developments, some of the, I just think you're picking the wrong thing to focus on.
I
Even though
feel
it's
if we
the
have
opportunity with this year,
$240,000 to
But I can
spend,
do a lot with $240,000.
we could do something
I just,
better.
all I want to do is bring it back up for discussion because,
Yeah, if it was one of the main roads and something that would get a lot of bang for its buck, and again, I'm not saying the two businesses are not important, I'm just saying that's a lot of money right now. And like we keep saying, we're in this time where we don't know what's going to happen. I
Can I
would
make
not-
one more observation? It's just something to think about, is when you think about patching. Okay, we're gonna spend a lot of money on patching down there. We already have spent a lot of money on patching, and it ain't gonna get any better. We're gonna spend more money on patching. That is money you are throwing away. And, you know, it's the same way around the school. School is bad, okay? Lake Street is the worst road we have. So that's another thing you need to take into consideration. Doesn't matter to me if you pay it or you don't. But it's just, you need to take into consideration how much patching are we doing, which in the winter time is a lot. When it's dry like this, it ain't hardly doing any patching.
What's your estimate? What do you have?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, last year for budget this year, I estimated, I think, 10,000 for patching.
But that's for all your, you don't like do each
Right,
individual
right.
road. You
But
don't do
I'm
that.
still
Yeah.
saying, I'm just saying,
It's costing us to
there
maintain.
are several roads that we concentrate on that are always having to be patched. Lake Street is one of them, around the school is one of them, Sunnyside is beginning to be one of them. And so, you know, it's just a thought, you're throwing money away by going down there and patching that. And, you know, exactly how much we spend on that, I really can't tell you.
But just say, if we're to pave around the school, we're still patching down there. If we pave that, we're still patching over here.
Right, but we're patching,
Now we're
but
patching
the
both.
only thing I'm saying is that's the worst road. So we're spending more time down there patching than we do around the school. But you're right, Jeff, I mean, we do spend a lot around the school as well.
There's hundreds of cars that go around that every day, and there's dozens that go down that one.
Now, I'm not trying to.
Oh, no, I know, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to come up
I'm
with
just throwing that out there, just,
At
it's
some
something to
point,
think about.
we have to fix that road.
Yeah.
At some point, that has to be done. Now, we do have the money from the gas tax and the license plate tax that we didn't use this year that could be utilized for that road to take advantage of the bid that Lake got. Because you're talking half price, pretty much, somewhat.
I mean, engineers are always high on those
Yeah.
prices.
Yeah,
I feel Sam is always high on those.
he's
I'll just get it out
yeah.
there.
He's usually about
He covers his
25% higher than you. So if we just said it was 300,000,
Or
If
340
it
or
was-
something like that.
yeah. I won't.
So we know we're gonna get a break
Yeah,
by entering in there for the third quarter.
Right.
right.
I did speak to the contractor because I wasn't sure when he was gonna do their part of Lake and I was worried about him because I knew you guys still had to meet and stuff. And he said he wasn't really planning on doing them together, he was doing them separately. So there was like no huge rush on it, but
Okay. And as far as the number of cars traveling around the school right now.
Well,
They
when
cut
school
through
starts
the-
back up and all.
Yeah, if school starts back up,
Yeah,
great,
sure.
the question.
they cut through the school too because it's a better part.
Right.
They sure do.
Yeah, there's definitely more traffic on the school
Oh, yeah,
now, like
sure.
I say, than Lake Street.
And guarantee kids are not gonna be riding the buses.
But here's-
Because the parents are home to drop them off, by the way, but the parents are not.
True, true.
So here's the issue that I have, is we have a policy that basically we take discounts. When we have the opportunity, we take the discounts.
And we pay it every other year.
And we pay every other year. Yeah.
Never
Anytime,
really
a-
hit that one lately.
yeah. But anytime a discount comes up, we've always,
They always seem to come in the
Always
off year, don't they?
It's like buying a pair of shoes for me, though. They were on sale, I should buy them.
Actually
My
saves
point
money,
is
yeah.
that the right road, regardless of the discount? Is that the right road we should be focusing on? If I
Right.
took 240,000, is that where I put my money in? for village?
so, we have a policy of taking the discount. We also have the idea of paving a road that's more traveled.
Yeah,
So, where I have an issue, where I have a roadblock is I have a discount over here, I have a well-traveled road over here. Which do you do? What do you do? We don't have the funds to do around the school. We do have the funds to do Lake Avenue at this point in time with the discount.
but if I save my money from Lake Avenue and applied it to next year's, maybe I
Right.
have the money to do it on the school.
So did we change the policy itself? We just say, this year we're not gonna go with it, we'll wait till next year and we'll see what we can do around
I
the
think the
school.
decision last year
Well,
we
we've
made,
changed
or
a lot of
part of this year,
policies
was we
and
were
rules.
not
We've
gonna
changed
pay
them, yeah,
this
but-
year.
Correct.
I think that was the decision we had made last year, was we were not paying this year. We were gonna actually
Yeah,
save the money, and I get the discount, appreciate it. I just don't think 241 is where I would spend my money in the village right now.
If you do wait on Lake Street, it's gonna be full depth even if you wait, if you wait another year. I mean, it's not like it's gonna
It can't get any worse.
Right, as
It
far
can't
as
get more
what,
expensive
is
that way.
what you're gonna have to do is what you're gonna have to do. So if you do it this year, you're gonna have to go. with
Because
that.
we're doing the
If you wait
complete
till
road
next
anyway.
year or whatever, you're still gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to think about as well.
So no matter what, we're carving the road out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
It's
that,
big.
that part isn't gonna go away, so.
Okay, so, the last item we talked about was the budget. When we talked during the budget, we said that we were going to put that money in the future paving. So we're gonna consider that and put, basically the idea is just to add to that amount for next year. So from finances point of view, it goes back to streets to ask Sam, work with Nate to figure out what the cost is on a road that's more traveled.
And I thought you guys at streets already had,
We have a list, but we didn't really give them years or
but
time.
don't you have them prioritized, don't you have like graded? Like you went through and graded how bad they were and, I mean, I would think that's the next step then, is to say, if we prioritize the streets, because again, if I'm saving money and holding it till next year, what am I gonna?
Yeah, well, what you just did was, by saying, and I'm gonna give everybody credit here, what you're saying is by taking in consideration the street more traveled,
Yep.
we have the grading aspect of the street, but now we have to throw in the usage of the street.
There's several different things that need looked at.
Yeah, so,
I just think we should have a prioritized list so we know what direction we're heading to do our streets.
And we're not necessarily looking at it from the worst streets to the best.
And my point is, if you have streets in, let's say, 1 through 10, and let's say street number 5 happened to be Lake Avenue, then I think it would be a little bit more, oh, well, maybe we should move 5 up, because it is in the top 5.
right,
We're not really, but if it's number 11,
right,
then I really just spent money just because I had a coupon,
yeah.
which is not a good way to grocery shop, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, that's,
What's the cold, they say, well, you saved $80. No, I just spent
Just
120.
that 70, yeah.
I'm just kidding, but you know what I'm saying, I feel like we should have to have a plan so we know next year when we have this.
And it shouldn't just be on,
Because I feel like every year we're like, what roads do we do? What
We
roads? We should already know.
every year
have
we
come
go
up
through the
with
same thing,
plans,
so-
so many plans. I have made out sheets.
But don't you think you know, I mean,
After
if I said, Nate, which of the 5 roads you want to pave? You could give me the 5 roads.
I could give it to you right now.
I could give you the 5 roads.
And that's my point, then we need to stick to the plan and say, those 5 roads are
But-
in our focus.
okay.
But
So,
we've
Unless
looked
we
at
get a
those
deal.
on
let me corral this back.
badness only.
So Scott and I, and I'm gonna draw Scott back into the conversation before he dozes off. You and I had a conversation about, getting the roads done quicker by, basically utilizing a tax, to get some of the extra monies to do the roads. Have you looked into that any further, the idea of using, completely slipped my
Like
mind,
a tax assessment?
an assessment, correct?
Special assessment?
Scott and
Yes.
I, or Ron and I have talked about that.
We're still in the talking stage. I don't know where Ron's at with it.
Okay.
He was gonna look at, talk about it. That is not a quick process.
No, it's not, but neither is our paving program, so, I
We don't
mean,
have a big-
They're about at the
Yeah.
same speed right now.
yeah, right now, you're right, they are at the same speed, so
Right.
we're not getting anywhere
We
with it.
tried to have one.
I mean, if we do that, I mean, we're still paying out money.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's a percentage, and again, I look
It's just
at it as,
a helper.
it's a discount,
Yeah.
rather than having, a discount because of volume from Lake Township, it's a discount because the residents are helping to pay.
And we used to, I thought, put in for paving year over year to try to say, where can we get some additional funds
Yeah,
for
And we
matching?
still do that. Part of that problem was some of that money we could only use for like certain roads, which was
Yeah.
basically Sunnyside and Woodland.
Right.
So once those get done, we can't really use it anywhere
I was
else.
just wondering, is the school part of that potentially or no?
No.
It never was, no.
Yeah, I remember Rob Graham looked and looked
Yeah.
at that. He
Yeah.
did a good job of searching, we just
Yeah.
didn't come up with it.
And Sam did just fill out some stuff, and we do
Okay.
get a little bit, but not like we used to with that.
In
Okay,
paving,
so-
you don't get a lot of points.
Right,
You know,
right,
it's on the point system.
right.
So with the weighing of the discount with the road usage, Lake Avenue is out. And there is no paving for this year.
That would be my decision.
We'll kick it back.
Unless Cozy and Elizabeth have some really fabulous idea for it.
We'll kick it back to streets and have Sam, Nate, give us your top 5 list.
Again.
Again, this is,
Yeah, I could do it again, that's all right.
But your point is, if we go in the early part of 2021 and try to get bids, we have to know what it is we're gonna go after a bid for.
right.
So we might as well,
Right, just do it now, figure it out now.
and again, I think there's a list, it's just whether or not we have to change the list year over year because something else comes up.
You get
or
the list
changes.
on what Nate thinks are the worst roads, then you look at the roads and you figure out, okay, now, this one gets used a lot, this one can be up a little higher than this one that is just as bad, but doesn't get used a lot.
Correct.
You
Well-
just gotta put your own spin on it.
You know, another bad thing is that there's plans that like Cornerstone, you go in there and it's go about where the utility's gonna cross. So I had planned on taking, leasing a coal planer, going in there and try to smooth them out. That would kind of save that for a while, okay? And then, you know, we get a year like this year where we're trying to save, not do that, this, that, and the other, and it just kind of messes that up as well. So, you know, I mean, there's things you can do to maybe quiet the residents a little bit. I hate to say it like that, but,
Right.
you know, Cornerstone, yeah, it needs repaved, but one of the bad things is the dips in there, you know. And you know, when you, I've done it already, just go in there with some sand mix, some, you know, asphalt sand mix, and try to smooth it over, and it looks terrible. You know, it's just not adequate. Then if you cold plane it and you actually do it right. But then there's a cost in that as well. Yeah, do you want to do that 1 year and pave in 2 years? Yeah, is that money, you know, it's kind of wasted.
Have you ever thought of inquiring with the township and what they might be paving next year? Because what I've noticed in the last several years, you keep doing off-year stuff, because probably can pay back with the township. It also might be helpful to know what they might.
Well, I do, I keep in
Talking about next year.
contact with Danny. Actually, last year I talked to him about Lake Street. And I said, you know, when are you gonna pave it? He said, in a couple of years. He said, I'm not gonna pave it
Yeah,
right
it came
away.
as a total shock to
And
us.
then he called me this year and said, hey, we're doing Lake Street. I think he hadn't looked at it for a while or something. And one of the things that really, Danny usually, if there's something that comes up close to us, he usually keeps me informed. Over there on Kinsley Drive, he called me and said, hey, you know, part of that is yours. We're gonna go up to it. You wanna just do the rest of it? Yeah, we do. Bad thing is on Guy, we didn't do that. We just got a little short section there before I knew it. They just topped it. And so we got a little short section there that's not done. But, yeah, I mean, I keep in contact with him and find out what he's doing. As far as
Yeah,
that.
if he knew of anything next year,
Yeah.
that would be helpful to us. Yeah.
Thing of it is, they just did King Church and that was, you
Mhm.
know, that was close to ours. We could have piggybacked maybe.
Yeah, Elizabeth's husband was all excited, and then they
Yeah.
stopped and he cried.
Yeah, you know, that part of that one side of the road there, they didn't assess us at all for that, did they? Which wouldn't have been that much.
No, but yeah, we didn't get there anything.
So
Okay,
there's a lot of that that's already done.
any items, budget items, income tax items, anybody wants to discuss?
I will be looking at making, setting aside our reserves.
Okay.
I'd like to get that done here soon. And I might have some appropriation changes I could look at everything. Since we don't have a second meeting,
Yeah,
so So I might have to address that or transfers, possibly transfer to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Assuming we're not having a second meeting.
Right. Okay. Is everybody coming in and signing the bills, or am I the only one still?
You're the only one.
I'm the only one?
You're the
I
lone,
can start.
you're the lone bill
Yeah.
signer.
I come in on Tuesdays, around 11, 12 o'clock every Tuesday before.
So don't come in then, because Jim's back here.
Oh, you can come in, I mean, you just sit over there, and I'll just throw them at you.
I can totally, yeah, just let me know what day's good to come and sign.
And I do it on Tuesdays because I know Scott's gonna be here on Tuesdays.
Right,
So he's doing work, so I can come in.
you can question it.
Yeah, if I have questions about, if I get questions about the bills, or I have questions about the bills, I can always ask Scott.
Thursday.
Thursday mornings as well, or you're here all day Thursday.
Okay? Anything else? I think we talked about everything. I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. So you don't need to sign for the next meeting?
No, it's,
Yeah.